Yeah, so in terms of what this week means, this is of course the about the midpoint of our season. Right now, Farm Friends is in a tie for the division lead. They are the only team though at the top who has not played this week yet. It's Mitts and You Got Poutine on My Cheesesteak, both at 7 games. This is the seventh now for Farm Friends. They're all tied at 12 points. Meanwhile, Taunt the Frog just behind at 9 at 3-3 on the season. So plenty of wiggle room so far in the season, but you're looking to finish top 2 or even top 3 to make sure you get that spot into the playoffs.
Absolutely. We had some, as the third member of Fire and Friends, I can tell you we had a couple of very fun and random things that happened whenever we got a little overconfident, and you don't want to get overconfident in any mode for Link to the Past Randomizer.
Yeah, this is going to be, you say it so much of just you can't ever count your wins. It's just so hard. I think what the 2 losses for Farm Friends this season are in Inversion and Casual Boots, and even when you feel pretty good about those modes, there's just stuff that happens.
Yep. I can tell you my loss in Casual Boots was literally because I decided a very interesting routing decision that really bit me hard. So it made sense, and in fact, my routing was very good throughout the whole thing. I don't complain about it, but when you do a an hour late hype cave, and it happens to have the rest of the seed hidden behind it, that kind of hurts.
Yeah, so but as we said, for tonight we've got co-op veterans. This
Hmm.
is a quote unquote new mode this season. We did have it available last season, but it was buried in the playoffs. What had
Yes.
to happen is that if a playoff series went to game 5, you would have seen this game. Across the whole league between both open and invitational last season, I think we only had a couple of them.
Right.
So like this one did not get a lot of airtime. But the league admins, in their infinite wisdom, said, you know what? This mode was so much fun, and we just didn't get to really do anything with it. So let's make everybody play it this year, and this is the product.
I'm really grateful that that I don't have to play this week, because I am absolutely awful at entrance, to the point where I said, if you want to lose, put me in there. And they left and said, okay, no. So
Entrance is definitely one of those modes that takes a lot of learning, as we see Sick Kid over on WindFox's
mhm.
side. But
We had Hype Cave somewhere, and I wasn't really aware of where it was, but we also have Fart Cave up here with Homewrecker.
yeah, there's a lot to do with this opening. You're trying to divide as much as you can, but it's just so complicated. There's this, it's a mad dash at the start. You usually get at least one of your teammates into Kakariko, clearing all those entrances. So you just hope it kind of coalesces into something. As you can see, Windfox finding our brother's connector at Eastern Palace. Unfortunately, he is fresh out of bombs.
Oh, rip. They were been talking about that, about finding and following connectors immediately after they find them, and yep, bombs kind of bit that one.
Yep. And that is not an easy one to get back to. Eastern's not terrible, but it's pretty far away.
At least it's not Pod.
Yes, Pod is definitely one of the worst ones.
Oh, there's a bomb. Apparently, crows drop bombs, guys. Oh, and so does crab.
Yeah, bombs are relatively free if you look for them. Just kind of hard always to get them.
Well, thankfully, I believe One Fox knows where to go get a crab real quickly, as we see Eastern Palace on the Taunt the Frog side.
And it looks like Windfox is going down for that bush crab here by Mini Moldorm Cave entrance.
Oh,
And
got
also
another
finding
one
out the
there.
crows. Yep. But he's just like, give me all the bombs. And
I would not
apparently
be
full magic
surprised.
is the special item.
Yeah, nice. I wonder if we're going. I know we're probably going to the light hype cave. Yeah, I wouldn't go back for the entrance at Eastern for a while.
Probably not. Windfox
I
finding one
think
of those take any's.
we have the back of School Woods up here.
Question in chat: what is the average finish time for these? Co-op veterans I would say on average you're in a hour and a half to 2 hours at worst, depending on the seed and how the teams communicate it. Um, what I know of Wind and Scruff tells me probably under the 2 hour mark for sure.
Mhm.
I don't know
Yeah.
Homewrecker and Tripp as closely, but overall, I'd say a good pair in this hour 40, hour 45 is
Yeah.
probably the long side of it.
It depends on, of course, it all depends on how rando decides to be. So if we have that, go mode in the middle of lava chest and in Turtle Rock, and well, I mean, keys are different in this one though, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's the best part is like the retro keys seem like they would be annoying because you have to buy so many keys, but really like
You find a
they're not.
lot.
You can find I think the numbers work out. What I had heard the description as a while back was I think there's like 27 normal small keys in the
Hmm.
game. If like you are looking at like an 80 keys or a cross key seed. What retro does is it only places about 17 or so regular keys.
Yeah, that sounds about
So
right.
you're really like you might buy some, but you don't need to buy a ton to finish. And we actually still have not seen a shop for that. There's going to be these very special shops that sell small keys and quivers. As you can see, we do not have an arrow symbol above our runners on their lines yet. And you're thinking, well, that's always there. And it's not right now because they do not have a quiver. You have to buy the quiver to be able to shoot arrows.
Hmm. And we got a fire rod somewhere, and I missed where it was. But I know our runners know. That means that back of Skull Woods they could actually clear if they want to do, an annoying. Well, they can't unless they go find themselves a small key.
Yeah,
Never
we haven't
mind.
really been lucky with the shops either.
That
You're
is
thinking,
true.
where's my freebie? Where's my good shop? There's probably about 4 or 5 of them. Oh, and the fire rod was with our uncle this time.
Look, Uncle. I have to go pull this up here.
Yeah, the biggest part of this mode is a lot of communication.
Hmm.
There's this just being able to not only say, "Hey, this is the entrance I found." It's, "Hey Tabby, I found this at this. Do you mean I
And you,
found this at this or that at this?" And like you got to have that system down as to what
mhm.
order you're saying things at. Like, you know,
And yeah, it's like, and you have to also know how each other describe different things too. So, like, I did some practices of these with my teammates, and I was like, that light right that cave that is not good, and they're like, which cave are you talking? I don't know. It's that cave. I don't know. So you have to not only have this really good knowledge of exactly what you want to say, like, and you have to basically be able to pull those names out of the hat immediately, but you also they have to know what you're going to say. So if they say, hey, I found Fart Cave, they know it's a Gina. And they have so many different names, like, and all teams really have different names that they would call something that may not make sense to somebody else, too.
exactly. And that's one of those things that, like we said, this comes down to practice. What you're really going to see over these 2 weeks of co-op retrance, as we're almost on the first week actually, but these 2 weeks of co-op retrance is, which teams really started to build that rapport with their teammate.
Hmm.
Figured out what do you call the dark shopping mall? Do you call it dark shopping mall? Do you call it something else? What is Curiosity Shop or all the Death Mountain caves?
Trying to actually remember, what, like, just even remembering what they're called.
Yeah, we do see Scruff on the mountain. So like, being able to say, okay, I did this drop down or that drop down and what I found within did look like
Yeah,
nothing was on Spect Rock. I don't know if we saw the old man rescue yet. It could
I
still be
don't
at
think so.
Hera.
It's probably
Although
right
here's a
here.
yeah. Yep,
Oh
there it
wait, no,
is.
this are you sure
That's
that's oh yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
that's
This is the back. This is the back. And also, having a really good knowledge of um yeah, just having a good knowledge of all the dark rooms and such is key. And yes, that is my golden lab is definitely wanting to calm with me today.
I mean,
Might
the
have to go
dog,
let him out.
it could be a mascot of the farm, right?
He could, he could.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a better
Oh,
mascot for the farm, but he is passed out somewhere else and he's quiet.
we did find the hammer off of the old man. I missed
Ooh,
that when Wind found it as well. So really great. Not as powerful as the glove over on Taunt the Frog side. When I talk, I'm a big entrance fan, and when I talk about what I want to find first, top of the list is usually stuff like Pearl, Glove, and Mirror. Hammer's nice, but those other three I always find a little bit more important.
I'd say that my favorite thing I do a lot of mystery, which is why I was sad mystery was in here. But I do a lot of mystery, and my things, especially if I get a cross keys or an entrance anything, is I want to find. I don't necessarily want to find hammer either. I want to find, but I like it. I prefer again, like you said, the mirror, and the moon pearl. I really could care less about almost anything else.
Oh man, Tripp finding Cackwell, but no bombs right now.
And talk about the Merle, it's right there.
Yeah. Apparently all you had to do is just drain the dam, and there you go.
I don't even remember where the dam was.
I'll tell you, having done a comm of this once already this week, trying to do normal tracking of a map, that's like one of the things I love to do is have my own map tracker up. I was like, nope, can't do it.
Nope.
4 people is way too hectic.
Like I can do it with 2, but I can't do it with 4. I can tell
Yeah.
you that right now. I went cross-eyed in the first like 5 minutes. So and I even practiced watching 2 people at once and not 4.
Oh, believe me, we our own practice has seen the same thing. Leo and I are in voice chat and Kazden's listening to us and he's just like, I don't know how you do it.
No, no.
Nope.
But
Don't
I did
wanna.
find Pod.
Oh yeah, Palace of Darkness, and I think Scruff has a potion, maybe.
He has a potion. He does not really like Mimic Clip that much, so he would have to have a potion or something to get through that. But if it was Wind, he's Mimic Clip master over here, so.
And that's one of those things you really can consider is like, hey, I found this. How do you feel about that? Oh, I know my partner can hover or can mimic clip a little bit cleaner than I can. Maybe I delay on
Yep.
this or leave it to them. Or sometimes you just say, I gotta do it, even if I hate it.
That is absolutely something that all of these teams have discussed with one another. I mean, I can tell you, even before this, whenever we kind of had our like pregame huddle, if you will, we were, Wind is already like, you know what? I know we got our game plan on here, and let's do this. And if we have to do this, we have to do this and that. But Glove locks Ganon's tower.
It's interesting. Taunt the Frog with that glove, able to find GT, but not able to do much in it without a hammer. Meanwhile, Farm Friends, no, nothing on that front, so no glove for that.
No glove. Your glove in the entrance right now is WindFox's least favorite thing because of previous experiences. And those
It just
beetles
locks
are
so
just,
much.
yeah. But as soon as they can find the dam and that other thing, the glove, wherever that
Yeah,
was.
but Scruff's trying to do his best to save keys. Without these shops, we really have not had a good key situation either. Like
Yeah.
this has got to be really frustrating for our runners. Like you're starting to get some good money, and you're just like, I can't do much right now, though.
Yeah, and you don't want to have to as I mentioned, Scruff not really being the best at mimic clip. He's decent, but as with him not being the best at mimic clipping, he's like, I really need to, when wind comes through here, he can go get those other things. I'm gonna go do these checks over here.
We did get info that Desert and Hera are our red crystals for this race.
Nice. We also got the ether medallion. I've gone
And
back
there's our
cross-eyed.
bow.
There's a bow. All right.
Okay, we cannot do anything with that, as you can see. Still no arrows, still no quiver for Scruff, so... But I can't
Yeah.
imagine, you're too worried about it. He is trying to get all that money out of Pod. He knows what's coming.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You want to these kinds of things are just really important to get as much money as you possibly can, and just everything is money in retro. It's just one of my earliest memories of Rando was Scruff telling me we're going to do retro, and I said, "What is retro?" And he said, "I don't know. I haven't done it before." And so we both did retro together, but he knew how to do Silverless Ganon and I didn't. I learned that day.
Okay, so I didn't realize this. Scruff has a Pod Big Key and got a
Oh.
small key out of the big chest.
Oh.
Unfortunately, this is another situation where, like, he's got the ability to practically go kill Helma, but without a quiver, he can't do it.
Yep, and that's a really big bummer because he can go and do everything.
Really
Guts
good
to
work,
find that
though, in that
quiver.
dark maze.
Yeah.
3 hearts and not taking a hit until he wanted to.
Let's see if he's just going to use it. Nope. Is he going to prove me wrong and actually mimic clip for once?
I mean, that looks to be his plan right now. We'll see how that goes. Nope, he's thinking twice. He realized that he does not have a potion, so I can't imagine he's going to leave. Like, that's one of the worrying things always about this mode is key logic, almost throw it out the window besides the big key side of things. The game pretty much just says, if you can get into a dungeon, the game expects you to have keys to get to it.
I'm sure that there is something else though. Our runners are definitely missing right now, of course, like with the there's going to be some shop somewhere that is just completely wherever it wants to be right now.
Well, and really, like, we have the info to say, you got full access to Dark World, everybody.
Yeah.
Like, or at least Taunt the Frog does right now. That is just so much available. Like, Dark World's gonna have something. At this rate, Dark World's gotta have access to a shop.
Well, there's a turtle rock. Oh, there's the shop, but not the shop that we're looking for.
Yeah, unfortunately, there still are some shops that are just what we would call basic shop, I guess. We're looking for those specialties. You'll see the 2 big important items are the quiver and the keys are available. Quiver is going to cost you 80, while the key is 100. And
And if you have the
unfortunately, to get a
rupees,
key, yeah.
Oh, there's the glove.
Unfortunately, oh, good. But yeah, for that keys, the key work, it's 100 per small key, and you have to go out and back in every time you want
Yeah.
another key.
Which, if you were to go with, one thing I always do on here, and it's probably not a good idea in retro, but like if I have 1,000 rupees and I find a key shop, I probably will buy 1 key, just in case, because if something happens and I don't have enough keys, then I'm stuck. But if I can buy a single key and that single key saves me, then there you go. And there's the dam, so Farm Friend's about to also get their Dark World access very soon.
Yeah, Wind's just gonna have to make his way back down to the dam for that pickup.
Mm-hmm. Nope, there's Ganon, so... And they found one of the other entrances for Turtle Rock, and I didn't see. Did Taunt the Frog do this one and I just missed it? Which it probably did.
I don't remember, but Homewrecker finding Dark Death Mountain Bridge. This is a really
Oh,
important one for Mimic Cave later. And actually, I think I saw at least one runner here, but I could be mixing up who I saw on this side of TR.
yes. This is. I mean, it gets a little bit convoluted, especially whenever you got all of these entrance goods going at once.
Homewrecker checking to see if the Paradox Cave actually was a good one, a good shop. But apparently not.
I don't usually see that one being a good shop. That one's usually a basic shop from what I've seen.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd ever seen anything for sale in there key-wise, so that would be new.
But you know, rando be rando. We've probably all both seen Stranger Things.
I mean, I'm used to the idea that, I'm thinking like shop sanity, but obviously that's not part of League.
Yeah.
So WindFox into GT with that hammer. We'll see what he decides to do. Clearly going to check Hoperum here for TR Big and some bombs. We'll see if he goes for some bomb jumping. It's a lot of bomb jumps for the items here, unfortunately. And it looks like he's bailing. And I don't
Yeah,
disagree. Like, if I had a hook shot or boots, I'd probably full clear left side, but without either, I like the decision.
it's not a like they're it's not a hard bomb jump, but it's just so many of them.
Yeah, and you miss one and you're set right back.
Mm-hmm. Like I think that it gets simple once you get your first one. The first one is probably the hardest one, but you miss that first one and you're kind of stuck. There's probably some information being relayed by Scruff and Wind there.
And I did just realize we do have one runner with a quiver.
No, we do.
Yeah,
That must be in
Homewrecker
Dark
find
World.
one. Yeah. Although no bow on their side. Oh wait, no, Tripp has a bow. Must have gotten one just recently out of pod. So the runners with the bows, unfortunately, just not able to do anything with them to finish off this dungeon.
It's just a bummer.
Now, Homewrecker found Super Bunny Cave. I think that's the first time we've seen it, but he wants to knock out Dig Game first. Probably go through Super Bunny right after this.
And that does make sense. We do want to make sure we do like in any mode, you want to be as efficient as possible.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Super Bunny is one of our one-way connectors.
So one of you wants to do that, the other one kind of wants to see, is it good? Is it bad? Do I need to worry about that?
And there's the other side of it of Homewrecker going, oh yeah, I gotta go the long way through Super Bunny, unfortunately. No hookshot, no mirror, no easy. I did see an interesting little alternative strategy as Scruff does find that right side. You can actually bomb jump that low gap, so you don't have to go down and up and down in Super Bunny, but wouldn't have thought about that one. Bombs and a small key in Super Bunny. Meanwhile, WindFox is going to go through the front of Skull here.
And now that we have keys, now that we're getting keys here soon, we can absolutely go and do do the front of school or back of Schoolwoods as well. So,
And that Super Bunny connector really nice, leading to Bumper Ledge and a Tempered
ooh,
Sword now for Taunt the Frog.
oh, there's a thing. Looks like that is down there. So, the Dark Death, the Bumper Cave entrance is a special shop.
Was this a bad Skullwoods layout? I just realized. I think
It-
WindFox, the front, both of them were the front connector. Oh, or both of them were the middle section.
yeah,
So unfortunately, gonna have to take a drop down. And this is even worse of a set of connectors for Skull, finding the drop down to the mid section. So WindFox dropping in for the front technically is going to cause him to have to save and quit.
unless we find the mirror.
True.
But it looks like Tripp is following WindFox. And I think we're going to be getting the other side of Dark World from Scruff over here. I don't believe we saw that at all with Taunt the Frog, unless I missed it, which is very possible.
No, I think what we saw from Taunt the Frog in this situation was kind of a hype left. And it looks like Scruff's idea is to start from the pod area first. Although it looks like Scruff might have forgotten the peg cave.
Yep, that's what it looks like.
Good thing you went back, as that is Laser Bridge.
Well, he's usually pretty good at these. Well, there's an ice rod. And boots.
Wind, after you finish this area, you are going to be heading straight for the pod area
And
the
a lamp.
lamp.
So yeah, he's gonna he's gonna save and quit and just go straight over. There's no
Yep.
like, and we're gonna see hovering. We're gonna see a lot of hovering. Because
Fox finding Mini Moldorm Cave at the back of Skull, which is another great multi-item entrance.
and did Tripp just save and quit and not go to the back?
He did.
Oh
This
no!
could be huge.
All right, see what's here. Money, money.
The big money's nice. Map is informative,
Oh.
and just a piece of heart, so not too big of a deal.
I mean, he missed out on Gomo though. The net.
I know, but not much you can do.
It'll be lost forever.
Looks like Tripp is heading over there. Wind is not heading there immediately. Looks like he's going to do the Hype Cave start instead.
Well, that makes sense. I might not agree with it, but it makes sense.
Scruff finding a take any and getting to refill his bottle is nice, though.
Yeah, I mean that's in retro, that's not a bad choice.
Generally speaking, when we talk about these co-op modes, you usually have, it's low percent. You're going to end up at maybe 10 hearts at the top if you're lucky. Retro's like, no. This is co-op, but you're both going to probably hit 10 plus hearts and get a ton of stuff.
And WindFox doing exactly what I do after he found his special cave down at the dam. So Scruff is going to be going over there soon.
Yeah, Wind's going to buy up. Exactly. It's been a while since we've had any of these shops, so he's kind of like, I need to load up now.
And I don't blame him at all. Like they haven't found a single one of these, and I think that Taunt the Frog has found a few, but Farm Friends has found none. I think it's fine though, Wind. I promise you'll be okay.
Yeah, with that money that he got recently from the back of Skull, it's kind of like, yep, easy. I can just buy a bunch.
And that also, thinking about it, that does save you time with things like some sillier thought places like swamp. If you have a whole bunch of keys, swamp is going to be you can skip a couple keys, you can skip a couple things here and there, so it ends up helping out a little.
Yeah, we do see crystals at Mire and Skull Woods on WindFox's map check. Ooh, and Tripp working through Laser Bridge, just having a little bit of trouble with these eye lasers.
Without the boots, it is much more difficult. Scruff promised he would teach me how to do it someday, but that someday has been few some days ago. And Scruff getting his quiver, so we finally have quivers for all except for Tripp. Who needs a quiver?
And he's one of our runners with a bow, so that's unfortunate for him.
It's a very worthwhile cause that he's dying for. Let's see if he continues to lose his life for the cause.
Now, an important thing to mention about these checks, technically Laser Bridge is out of logic for all of them. Oh wait, except for WindFox and Homewrecker.
Well, from what I understood on there, it's not like I've had inverted seeds where your only progression is what you're having to see right here.
So inverted actually it's everything except for entrance.
Yeah.
Is the Laser Bridge is now in logic. Laser Bridge used to have the logical requirement was invincibility. And unfortunately, entrance is still on an older version of the randomizer. So the game still expects you to have invincibility for this.
I did not know that. Today I learned.
Yeah, this is the one little moment that's kind of going to be interesting about when we hit the rumored V32, is the ability for everything to kind of be...
WindFox has a cape, and he is deciding not to use said cape, and I don't know why.
And unfortunately, it looks like Tripp didn't get the boots either.
The Scruff is just this crazy master of these bootsless skips, and I'm always in awe whenever he does it.
Yeah, I don't even use the boots for the skip. For me, it's all sound based. I get close, and then as soon as I hear the laser fire, I move.
Wind, you're gonna do the thing, aren't you? He's gonna do the thing.
He is gonna go for the thing.
All right, let's see if we can get our thing going. That sounded a whole lot worse than it came out, but never mind. But we're gonna do the thing.
Yep, WindFox is gonna try to give us the good old PR hover,
and he can do it. I've seen him do it, so it has not been recently that I saw him do it, but
I gotta think he's gonna give it one shot. If it doesn't work, you'll know very quickly if you feel like you got a hover day. And I think at that point, there's
nope.
He's like, nope, I don't got it.
See, I would have tried 3 times, mainly because I had that many hearts. But you also have to realize you have Trinex in there, and if you kiss it, you're dead. So that's not an easy hover because you just have to keep hovering over and over and over. Like it just is. It's not like it's a hard hover per se, but it is one of those hovers that it can.
It's an endurance.
Yeah, it's an endurance hover. Like I will tell you straight up, my arm, like when I've done that hover before, and I've hovered Laser Bridge twice, I think. And on stream, though, of course, I get all the way to that little question mark and then fall, and then I'm like, I don't want to play anymore.
Well,
but yeah, but it's like your arm just starts tensing up. You're like, okay, come on, and you're like, it's a huge triumph when you do it, but it's so hard.
Yeah, unfortunately for Taunt the Frog, this Tripp's issues with Laser Bridge could really come back to bite them, because this is just time that farm friends can really capitalize on boots.
And Scruff can full clear this. So this is Scruff's favorite dungeon. by the way. So he adores Ice Palace in all forms, doesn't matter what kind of form you go on there. It's his favorite. So he's going to be showing off probably as many bomb jumps and everything as he possibly can.
The only question I have is, do we have Ice Big?
No, we do not. But who needs the big chest? It's going to be nothing
Yeah.
but, book, which leads to cane, which, it could be, I guess it could be a hook shot. Technically. But when showing us Mothula.
Yeah, he's just got to be a little careful, a little low health right now.
And Moth is not playing nice either, so I really would have gone with the hammer on this, to be honest with you. Because once you get that rhythm with the hammer, it's so easy, but he gets him down like nothing.
Yeah, I think the only worry WindFox probably has there is, he's on green mail. He was in 2-hit KO, so probably trying to think, I want to keep my distance a little bit.
Right. Totally get that.
But I do believe that is our first crystal of this whole race. Homewrecker not far behind, also into the back of Skull, so we're going to be tied at a crystal apiece soon. But as I said, it's just going to be that these boots are just going to continue to create this divide. Even with the fact that, Taunt the Frog knowing where a Temperate Sword is could prove to be a decent advantage, but only for so long will that matter. Farm friends are just going to continue to knock out checks.
Yes. And just the boots, the interesting thing about boots is the earlier you get them, it sounds like it's completely, oh yeah, duh, but it's like the earlier you get them, the further ahead you get, because if you get them, say, 30 to 45 minutes before your opponent, for example, that's an entire dungeon that you have now saved over your opponent. And we're not talking, like swamp go mode. We're talking like Ice Palace bomb jump dungeon that you have now saved. So getting that, they have pretty much, depending on when they get those, that's bleeding a lot of time.
We are getting the bonk checks in Hookshot Cave, and looks
Gonna
like
get a
Wynn's
hover.
going to... Yeah, we're going to go for another hover.
He does know how to do it. He is usually pretty decent with it, but it might not be that day. I would try it a couple times.
Yeah, you've got the health to go for at least a couple tries. And it's looked like he's starting to just not hitting the rhythm tonight, it looks like.
Always say llama. Come on. If you've ever watched the video about llama, 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 it literally, you can quote that in your head and you can get the hover.
Interesting. I did not know that one.
I did a lot of hover practice, and it's now in my head forever.
Okay.
But don't ever say the duck part. You'll fall every time. I'm gonna warn you. Because the song is llama llama llama, it ad nauseum until it
Yeah.
gets to the end. It's llama llama duck. So
The duck is when you cross the gap.
Yeah, duck is when you cross the gap. But you have to say the llama in the right rhythm too, like right tempo and everything in your head too. It's so weird, but it always works for me, and I don't get why. Oh no, we're getting the llama song in chat.
Did Tripp find a book somewhere? No, he's just going into the back. Okay. I was like, this is an interesting path to take, but it makes more sense now.
Yeah. And we're going to see Scruff, finish up some Ice Palace here. I didn't see anything in there. Was there something I missed? Oh, no.
I didn't
Scruff
notice
found a book
anything.
in there. Scruff found a book in there.
Scruff found a book. And Scruff going for some very deliberate fire rod dupes, going to save some of that magic for this end portion of the fight.
Oh, it's so nice though. Whenever you have that extra magic, it's because I think he ended up like in practice recently. He died on Cold Stare, and he hasn't died on Cold Stare in like 3 or 4 months, and so he kind of got frustrated and grumpy. Oh,
It's
for a
another
pendant.
small key. Yeah, and it's only a pendant, unfortunately.
You hate to see it. Unless it's on pet, then we'd like to see it.
Well, now we can find out if PED's required.
Can. He might be. He might be going to check that.
Yeah, it looks like he is.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, pretty much does that pendant matter? Does this book matter? You want to answer those questions for your teammate, because I can't imagine Wynn's like, yeah, let's go over to let's go do ice.
Yeah.
That was just some pocket change. So Ped is dead, but we cannot get to the tablets right now.
Eventually, we can get to the tablets. I apologize for nothing getting chat all on the llama song.
I mean, it's a neat idea. I'm kind of curious now.
I don't actually sing the whole lyrics, though. I just say llama, llama, llama in my head. Because I always forgot what the llama song and the actual lyrics, and it was always just llama, llama, llama. That's just how I learned. So if anybody's learning, that's literally how I learned. So
we did find the front portion of Desert Palace, so we're going to get some decent checks here. And down goes the Moth for Scruff, getting his small key as well. Meanwhile, WindFox is going through some of the rest of our VOO checks, as Tripp winds up on top of Hyrule Castle.
well, that's actually really useful, especially with what they found.
WindFox, however, joining the desert checks. Yeah, I didn't see anything important out of desert, so it looks like we're still trying to find the next thing to kind of break this seed out. But at the same time, like, Farm Friends just has so many checks to make.
Yes, that's kind of like the double-edged sword of everything, is that you get you have so many checks you have to make, and like you get so many things to open things, and it's great because you have boots, you have whatever else you're getting on there, but then you have all of these other checks that you have to do.
And Wind finds his way to the floating island. And there's definitely that feeling of, do I really want to jump off? Do I want to check the other desert entrance, or do I want to check out DDM? And he is going to go for these DDM checks.
doesn't. I mean, it definitely makes sense. But he's also gonna, know that, hey, I do have these other checks that, I still have to go into desert. I still have to go back and find the other one. There was another quiver there.
And DDM, not the answer. And yeah, Kono in chat pointing out something really fun about this mode. There's little ways you can time save in this. With Thieves Town especially, you can actually skip grabbing the hallway key and pick it up right before you fight blind.
Mm-hmm. In fact, like you can do a lot of things with this.
Yeah, I mean, did you ever want to do a diver down on left side without hookshot? You can.
I don't like it.
I will say though, if you are in Swamp Palace and you're gonna go in and not clear the dungeon the first time, make sure to pull the switch. And there's the mirror out of blind cell. There's an item.
Let's see if we're gonna go back to Desert Palace anytime soon. Because mirror is just as big as boots when in this mode, especially.
Well, and to be honest, one of the worries I have for Taunt the Frog on this one is, did Tripp communicate the fact that he didn't clear the bridge? One of those little things that can really creep up in this mode is, you tell your partner, hey, I'm doing this. And there's almost that expectation, like, okay, if my partner tells me I'm on Laser Bridge, I'm like, okay, they're going to tell me if they find anything. And, does Homewrecker go, there's 2 or 3 chests that weren't told. So, like, is there a push for them to get back to it?
Honestly, it kind of feels like there's not, and I don't blame them for not going back there immediately. They've got so much they can do and everything else, so.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that mirror's only going to further make that, like, a check to not go to.
Because why would you want to go back there whenever you've got so much other stuff there, in all these mirror checks, and it mirror probably feels really good right now. You're like, oh my goodness, I have the mirror. This is excellent, and well.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're a Tripp, like, go get your Tempered Sword and check Bumper Ledge, Light World side, so.
Right.
But Scruff's going to go for that Helma kill.
Yep.
Homewrecker not far behind either on this one.
Picking up a few more keys there on WindFox's side.
Oh, and there we go, another pendant with Palace of Darkness. So we know 2 of our dungeons in terms of the pendants with Pod and Ice. Do we know our 3rd pendant tonight? Yes, we do. It's Eastern, so we have full map info now. I mean, sooner or later, Farm Friends is going to have to find Thieves Town at this point. Oh, and Tripp back on to Laser Bridge. So he's going to get that info for Taunt the Frog about, what's there. And he's got to be kicking himself a little bit with that find. And that one. So Tripp finishing up the checks of Laser Bridge. So boots are nice. Exactly, and that's the hard part for Kono. Like the boots were there, the lamp was there, two great items, and you're not going to feel happy about that kind of thing. I mean, I don't know. That feels like it was 10 plus minutes for Farm Friends on that boot advantage. Now, this mirror could be the reverse. Could really help Taunt the Frogs gain some time back. It looks like, everybody's just trying to kind of work their way around, see if they can find something. Wind hasn't gone back for his bow yet. At this point, realizing that Pod and Eastern are both pendants, maybe he just says, I don't care about the bow. So honestly, every step of the way, Scruff's been able to say, hey, you don't need it. Scruff finding Spec Rock, just a key across, and since hovering's not been really his thing tonight, gonna say, I don't need that key or attempt for that key. So Homewrecker now getting his boots after getting that info from Tripp. So everybody's got boots, everybody's got lamp. And meanwhile, Scruff does find Thieves Town, is leaving for the moment. I guess he's going to check the other entrance here first real quick before heading back in. I guess the only thing is, what could you hope for? Because it looks like Scruff has the Thieves Town big key. He's got boots. He's got a sword. Like, you really can't ask for more. Maybe you're hoping for a cape to make, like, a Hellway dash easy.
He knows, WindFox has the cape, so he knows probably where that is. And the WindFox hasn't used it.
So, but that will be the mirror for Farm Friends momentarily. As Homewrecker is back in the GT with that find of the boots, I like the play to head back in here now.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately for WindFox, finding Bumper Ledge right before Scruff tells him, I got the mirror.
Yeah, that's gonna be that really is kind of a bummer. I'm with Scruff not having done Bumper Ledge yet, though, he can go with his mirror and go over there because he's gonna want to have that that tempered sword. So it ends up working out.
And yeah, discussion about costs to use a bow in this mode. Yeah, 200 to kill Ganon. It's a little steep, but it's worth it. The one that gets more interesting are when we talk about fights like Armos Knights. It's 6 silver arrows for 300 rupees or 18 regular arrows for 180 rupees. You might think I want the speed, but really a regular arrow Armos kill's not that expensive and not that much slower.
Now we have Tripp doing what WindFox did earlier, and Homewrecker is doing the GT here. Oh, it looks like while I was letting my dogs out, they found their boots.
Yeah, Tripp went back, had a bit more health. I think the fact that he was in Oko for every one of those laser skips was kind of the annoying part. So
Yeah.
was able to get back on it. Tripp does find Mimic Cave.
And
And there's our
mitts.
Titans. Ooh, that's an interesting item, to be honest, in this mode. Very mixed feelings about its importance.
It is a yes important. It's like it can be, but at the same time it makes some traversal easier, but not like it's not like 100% awesome, I would say.
Yeah, WindFox getting that info that, hey, I know where the mirror is. You probably want to come for it now. But he's into pod. I'm curious what the checks are. And Tripp finding the take any sword. That was over on Death Mountain, the middle ledge there. The mirror finally immediately paying off at least a little bit.
Well, we could see what all is where here. Let's see. Oh, we found Hera. So Tripp found Hera.
Yeah, finally having that mirror and, knowing where Floating Island is, we do have a lot of options.
Yeah, any miss whenever you're in retro for bow hit is it's not as painful with normal arrows, but with silver arrows it always is painful.
Yeah.
Apparently found the flippers in Hera there, which with the location of Swamp Palace being pretty early, I mean, even without the hook shot, I would say that it would almost be worth going into because it's not really that difficult to get to.
Yeah, and at this point we are gonna need those flippers. So I mean we need Hera anyway, so
And we're
Farm
probably
Friends
gonna
will find it.
blink and you miss it.
We did get the spike cave play from Scruff. Nothing of importance. WindFox is giving us the rest of the GT checks. Like I said, if you've got hook shot or boots, this isn't too bad. But when you're trying to do multiple bomb jumps, it does get a little bit slow. So I like the wait.
Yeah, sometimes you can hover, sometimes you can bomb jump. It's just kind of one of those. What would you rather do at that point?
When showing us some red rang strats. And we got silvers on the Bombos tablet. Now, if I'm WindFox, who's already skipped... Oh, wait, no, Wind got his first bow, so maybe he goes for those silvers eventually. Although, I can't see him going into Ice Palace, honestly, for the
Not
book.
for silvers, no.
Yeah.
With Scruff having the with Scruff having everything else there, trying to figure out what Scruff is doing right now. My mind had just gone blank as I was watching this.
I mean, Turtle Rock Big's nice, but I don't feel like it's enough of an incentive.
What else was in here that was important?
I honestly don't recall anything super important here.
Quake.
Okay.
Which Quake it with Quake being where it is, that means it's not hookshot locked. Or not hookshot. Sorry, it is hookshot locked. So the Quake medallion cannot lock hookshot. Is what I was trying to say. Oh, and there was a big key to Eastern, which yeah.
I guess I guess you know where Eastern is, I think. But like if you're Scruff, who's been kind of hoarding the bows and getting all the pendants, maybe at this point you just feel like I'm gonna get another pendant.
I mean, and it's a green pendant, and you know where Saha is. So there's a couple reasons for it, but not it's not like good reasons, but there are reasons for it. And I think we're gonna get a tower climb from WindFox.
The fact that he's walking out gives me a thought that it's possible, but I don't know. That's a time investment. But he is climbing.
Yeah, if you got one guy has the mirror, the other one is already there, and if you find something there, the other team has not gone up there. So it's
Well,
everything in
and
Rand is a gamble.
I will say, you said it earlier, go into Swamp Palace. Tripp must have
Yep.
thought about that and said, I agree, because we're getting the Swamp Palace play hookless.
I honestly, I don't hate either one of the plays, any of the plays I'm seeing right now, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously, Homewrecker's play is to get the mirror and a crystal. Tripped going into a hookless swamp, not a terrible play,
Well, he
but
did get his Cane of Samaria as well.
oh, he got his cane. I did not see that he got the cane.
Yeah, that was in the wraparound chest there.
I told you, cross-eyed.
Yeah, I don't know how you keep up in this mode. I like this mode. I enjoy this mode. I think I'm pretty decent at this mode, and I still don't know how you keep up.
So we
But
have the
Homewrecker
cane.
go. Oh, sorry.
So we have the cane and we do a bomber down. All right, sounds legit.
But yeah, Homewrecker going after his mirror pretty quick, deciding, I got to keep making these plays. Scruff in the mire area is going to full clear this and maybe find something really good as he finds a heart container.
Yeah, I don't hate this play either. So like so far there hasn't been anything that I would say that I don't like that they're doing. I think that all of them are doing exactly what, you know, exactly what you would do and should do in these modes. So
Yeah, there's a bit of a push and a pull in this game or this mode. Um,
you,
it's you get that info from your teammate. You're like, okay, what'd you go do? And they say, and you're like, okay, I can wait on this item or this key. I'll mark it off as something I need to go get. But then there's other times you're like, okay, I've got to follow you. Like that mirror that Scruff got, if I was Wind, I'd be a little bit more hard pressed to not just go for it.
and I mean with both of Scruff and Wind, they are both very very big into entrance, like, and they haven't done a like Scruff used to do a whole lot more in the ladder with cross keys and stuff, but time, you know.
Yeah.
But they both love entrance, they both love cross keys, and Wind going up the tower right now, it makes sense to me because of how many times I found the moon pearl up there, I found the hammer up there, I found just everything, just randomly up there in GT.
Yeah, and just one item up here really can be a difference maker because honestly, there's not a whole lot pushing Tripp and Homewrecker now back to this.
Hmm. Except for the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, Kane for right side. Meanwhile, Scruff working through the rest of Eastern, he's going to complete his pendant set.
I mean, they're pretty.
But 3 chests down at the top of GT, all maps and compasses so far. Uh, so Wind gonna have to go for this Moldorm kill and hover. Looks like he was starting to work the kinks out in Hookshot Cave. Let's see if he's got it.
Doesn't look bad now. Oh, never mind. Now, I would say that the only thing that can be there that would be useful is nothing that we know. But
Realistically, at this point, it could be, of course, a Desert Big, Mire Big.
a good
One of
point. I
those
forgot about
two
big
could
keys.
be there.
Big keys are a thing.
Yes, item-wise, we're good. Oh, Mire
Mire
Big
big.
was Fen. Oh,
It
good point. Homewrecker does have it.
could be the desert big.
And I'd say Hera Big, but if you had Hookshot, you wouldn't care.
Right. And what it will, and it's good information too.
Meanwhile, Tripp is back into GT, so if he's going to climb, this will be the time. Although at this rate, we know that the climb really, the only thing it could have is that Desert Big Key.
And that desert big kid can literally nothing that we need. So not terrible.
Well, and
Yes.
really for Taunt the Frog, they're really hoping for Mire soon because I don't think we've seen Misery Mire and really
We
like, have we?
No, we haven't.
Okay. Because we haven't, like, that's 8 items, all in logic right now. WindFox does leave GT though, not getting the Moldorm 2 prize. Unfortunate that hovers just weren't happening for him tonight, and I appreciate the attempt and also appreciate a person who's, willing happening tonight. I'm not going to continue going for it.
Yeah. I'm still gonna tease him.
So,
yeah,
Sahash will look for the green pendant, just a small key.
Oh no. Now the question is, where are they going to go next?
We'll say Tripp right back into right side of GT. I think what could be really rude about this seed is watch Hookshot be here on right side. Small key though. Piece of heart. The big key to ice. Oh. And another piece of heart.
Yeah, there could be something in ice.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody wants to go back to ice. Kono pointing out the obviously bad play, the obviously bad location possibility, and there's Meyer. Over in Dark Shopping Mall. Homewrecker also finding our that TR big chest. I was gonna say, Homewrecker, are you really gonna go for this play? I'm kind of surprised. Like, I don't know. Tabby, if you're Homewrecker, you clear are trying to do the rest of Meyer without Samaria?
No.
No. Very easy answer.
No. If I know where Samaria is, then no, absolutely not. If I don't, then yeah. But if I know where Samaria is, absolutely not. I would not go to. I would not go there. So Scruff is going to go here to the bumper ledge, which is a bottle.
Okay. Unfortunately, it's looking more like Taunt the Frog is starting to build a little bit of an advantage. That Cane of Samaria out of Swamp Palace, while not giving anything direct yet, that gamble could be huge at this rate. Just because, does Farm Friends really want to gamble Swamp Palace anytime soon?
I think one of them will. I think the other one won't. I would say Scruff is more likely to do that. Well, Scruff is going up the top of the mountain right now. I think, well, WindFox is going to be close to where Swamp is, so I would not be surprised if we saw one of them go in there because you're in a co-op right now. In co-op, you literally just go in and even if you're going into something that is unclearable, it's not as impactful as um going in somewhere that um you know in solo, like a single player. But we need flippers.
Yeah, that too.
The moment that one of them gets flippers, I am fairly certain that they are going to do the thing. Now, it could be hookshot on Ether.
Yeah, and here's the other check. This is the tablet we have not seen, and kind of that last opportunity for WindFox to possibly even consider um, going to Ice Palace. Oh, that's where the Meyervig was, up in Hera.
Yep. And Swamp. There's a push to Swamp right there.
Just still the flippers. Unfortunately, neither member of Farm Friends having found those yet.
Oh, they're getting close because it's all on the mountain.
Yep. And really, in this situation, like, I'm a firm believer of there's two drop downs in the middle there, so you take the middle to get two entrances.
Let's see where we're going.
And
Okay,
that
so
knocks out all the book checks.
Book is dead. Long live the book.
So, I mean, the only reason you could ever see WindFox into Ice Palace is if Ice Palace Big Chest matters.
Oh, and they're doubling this, so
And Homewrecker is now heading for Meyer. Did make that pit stop in Swamp Palace to get his Cane of Samaria, so
we'll have to get the item out of this one, which I completely forgot what it was. But I know it was important. Mitts. There's the flute.
ooh, I don't know how much I want to see a flute, but good mobility.
Right.
Like, we've had access to the Meyer area, so it doesn't give us new checks.
There's Hera. So about to go get our flippers. Yeah, Scruff's gonna do that, and then he's probably going to immediately go over to the swamp area, and WindFox is gonna go grab his flippers as well.
I think we haven't even seen the Zora area yet.
No.
So that's another possibility.
Yeah, Wind is gonna go get his flippers real quick while Scruff is doing this. Really, I don't hate the way that the WindFox is going around there because he does have the mirror, so it makes things so much easier.
Right. There's that desert big key for Homewrecker in Meyer.
Oh, we're just
So
in
at
a hook
this,
shot.
yeah, it looks like hook shot for go mode for Taunt the Frog. So we can say the GT climb is dead.
GT Climb is definitely dead. Gonna get those Zora checks here. Oh, maybe not. Half magic.
Unlikely a check for Wind at this point. Probably not going back for it. Where is the hook shot?
It has disappeared. We will never know. And that is hookshot locked, so that can't be anything.
What is?
What WindFox just found, but that would be
Oh.
the thing there.
It's looking more and more like these checks from Scruff could be important because just no luck on the hookshot front. Wait, did we miss hook?
I don't believe so.
That or Homewrecker just did a hover.
Homewrecker has it, so it has to be in Meyer.
Yeah. Missed what chest that was probably. But that is go mode, I believe, for Taunt the Frog.
Spike chest. All right.
Spike
So
room, okay. Yep. That is definitely a go mode for Taunt the Frog then. So a double dip of a dungeon is required in this seed.
Hmm.
Whether that is mire or swamp, pick your poison. You have to double dip one of them.
And you got to double dip Hera, more than likely. Well, if you double dip Meyer, you won't have to double dip Hera.
Yeah. Not great, no matter how you look at it.
Right.
So in this case, it looks like WindFox is going to find himself double dipping Swamp, while Scruff will be double dipping Mire.
And there's nothing. They are doing exactly what they should be doing at this point. Both of them going into
Exactly.
dungeons they don't want to do. They're going to find exactly what each other needs on there, and then they're going to just swap dungeons, and they're going to be in go mode. So they're going to be in go mode very quickly. Both of them are. So this is going to be a race, dudes. This is going to be a race.
Yeah, Scruff is going to get the missing big key for Desert as well as that hook shot. So
Yeah, so this is gonna be a race pretty quickly here. Because Wind and Scruff are gonna be able to find the items. Well, the spike chest is gonna be the last item that Scruff gets, so Wind is still gonna be looking for it. Um, I don't agree with Scruff going that direction first, but
yeah, given what you have. Although I
Oh
have a
no.
feeling Scruff is bailing on Mire immediately.
Well, I mean, I don't blame
I
him
don't,
for it.
yeah, no. You get that info that says, hey, you can beat Mire, you just need the cane, and it's right here. Like, I'm gonna listen to my partner on that one.
Because both of them are gonna go into Myra immediately after this. I can absolutely see Scruff doing this, finishing Meyer, um, and then Windfox immediately just following right behind him, just going, or he's going to go finish Turtle Rock. So the good thing in entrance though is that you don't have to worry about swamp. You having to unfill swamp again.
Exactly.
So there's some plus sides at least to it.
Oh, look, there's the Hera Big. So even if you weren't in go mode yet, you are especially in go mode.
Super go. I think we still have a race here though, because I mean they are not that far away from each other right now.
Yeah, the one question I'm having is what is Homewrecker looking for?
Um,
Because he's opening chests, and I'm trying to figure out what the checks are for.
did he forget he's in go mode? Did he realize he's not?
I mean,
Maybe
Kono's pointing out silvers, maybe? I guess?
silvers for sure.
Okay. And that is from the mouth of a teammate of Taunt the Frog, so believable.
And those two deciding not to, Farm Friends deciding not to go over to Meyer, deciding to both just hit Turtle Rock at the same time. They're right there. I mean, it makes sense. Like I can't fault them for it.
Hookshot was right here on Tripp's side. Yeah, and at this point, Taunt the Frog is really just, completing dungeons one after another. This is where this mode, you really see, hey, I'm suddenly in go mode, let's just clear dungeons. So there's the time, you're just going to continue to save time at this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, at this rate, like, Homewrecker is starting to build a bit of a lead.
Yes.
Important thing to keep in mind is that this is not based off of first finisher or second finisher. It's based off of average time. So even if Homewrecker finishes first, it really comes down to how quickly everybody else does get done as well.
I think what we're going to see is Scruff going here, finishing this, and going straight into Mire.
Yeah, and WindFox is starting to go with Smith Chain.
Well, that's a 0 cycle on Scruff side.
Yeah, nice work with that butter sword.
Okay, so Wind is going to be going over here, going and getting his hook shot. Probably.
Was the Smith over this way as well? Makes a lot of sense. Meanwhile, Homewrecker into Desert for another dungeon on his side. He's down to just 2 crystals at this rate. Tripp still has, it looks like Desert, Hera, Swamp, Skull, NTR?
That sounds about right.
So,
WindFox
still a lot of dungeons to go. And then, similar situation for Farm Friends. Doing a little bit better of a job with all their dungeon clears at least. But it looks like, yep, Wind and Scruff both into Misery Mire, where they will soon find go mode. I do anticipate they'll be able to split up this dungeon pretty nicely.
Yep, I believe we're going to see one going one direction, one going the other, and then they're going to find both of their items that they need for go mode. There's going to be some rage slashes because Scruff was in here and he decided to bail, which no one can really blame him for bailing. Okay, so Scruff found that. He's probably excited there. And I believe WindFox will find his, hopefully find his thing before Scruff has to do that little check there. So Yeah,
But
message received in cutscene chest. Gotta hate that.
Homewrecker into his last crystal at this point, and then just gonna head over to fight Ganon. Meanwhile, Farm Friend's just getting into go mode now. So gonna be playing a little bit of catch up, but really comes down to this time difference between Tripp and the others. And yep, Homewrecker has all 7 of his crystals. Just now, let's go fight.
And
Meanwhile, Tripp trying to get that bomb jump or the Harapot in.
I'm not sure what is that the he do I don't know which Harapot he's
Looks like he's doing one of the original versions. It's a double pixel perfect, but it doesn't have any subpixel issues. So in comparison to the newest one or the Philly Pot or even Hook Speed, it's very reliable, but you have to be, getting both those pixel setups, and it can be really annoying. But at this point, Homewrecker into his Ganon fight onto phase 4. Gonna just have 12 spins here to get through. Scruff getting his crystal from Meyer soon after Wind got his.
And looks like Wind is going to go get his Turtle Rock crystal here.
Just gonna have to watch his key situation a little bit. I think he has got enough to finish out the seed, but
he should be fine.
Homewrecker having to burn a blue goo, running out of magic there. But there we go. That is the 12th spin. So get your GGs in chat for Homewrecker. Gonna be, looks like finishing up first on our race. And of course, as we said, this does come down to average time, but the quicker he finishes, the more time he gives to Tripp to still finish. He finishes with a 1:35:13. So GG to Homewrecker. Now, the easiest way to think about how all this average time works, what you're thinking of is how much time is it between Homewrecker's finish and the first member of Farm Friends. So, like, if it's 3 minutes different, then the second member of Farm Friends would have to beat Tripp by that amount. So, the longer this difference, this difference seems pretty large, and that could be more of a problem than just a you know being the next two runners. It could just be, you two might finish before Tripp, but the gap between that Homewrecker built up is just extremely huge to deal with.
Right. And it's one of those, like, yes, Wind and Scruff, they're both very good at what they do. They are very, fast dungeon clearers, but it comes down to, is it enough for them to be able to get Swamp and Hera both finished up really quickly, and get it all done in the, the timely manner there. So it all just comes down to that.
Now, one of the other things I can mention is technically Homewrecker could head back into a seed. This was something that was discussed in the discussed with league admins. The way it works is Homewrecker, if there's something that, hey, Tripp could really benefit from XYZ item, Homewrecker needs to go through the credits as he is before he resets. He needs to reach the final screen with his collection rate. He cannot use emulator fast forward. He can use the fast forward that was built in to the randomizer by holding down his Y button, or is it X button?
It's the X button. It's the X button.
Yeah, sorry. So if he holds down his X button, he can do the fast forward through the credits, but not use any emulator supported fast forward. So he can go do that. Once he's through the credits, he can head back into the game and try to find anything additionally for Tripp to help him finish any bit faster. But I think at this point, really, there's nothing really he's looking to help him get.
No. There's really nothing else you can get at this point other than like half magic or something like that.
And yeah, as Kono says, like, given that we know that the silvers are behind the book, like, way too much effort to try to find the book.
Yep. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, like, our runners are currently about coming up on 4 minutes behind Homewrecker, and I would say realistically, Wind and like Scruff looks to be about even with Tripp, maybe a little bit ahead of him, pending some of these done. Actually, I think this is Tripp's last crystal, and that was Scruff's last crystal, so they're about even, unfortunately. So nobody's really getting a 4-minute advantage on Tripp at this rate.
Right.
And then the other side of this is, the flute paying some late dividends as well for Taunt the Frog, as you can see kind of the route required. Oh, sorry, Scruff also had a Swamp Palace to clear.
Yeah, it was his last dungeon with Swamp. There's really those flippers into Swamp Palace that really kind of made the difference between this right now. And then that's exactly what happens in entrance. It's just it becomes a volatile mode so quickly.
Yeah.
So you can have a very early advantage and a very early lead, and then just, one thing. And because there's so many entrances that you have to check and so many places you have to go.
Yeah, I mean, what it can be even a combo, really. Like, Taunt the Frog got that mirror quite a bit earlier, and then that leading to the flippers, and then Kane. So it really was just kind of a combo of that set. But Tripp just working methodically through this Ganon fight. WindFox getting his Moldworm kill as Scruff gets his Argus kill, and there is the exploding pig for Tripp. You're just going to have to cross that bridge, and that will seal this game for Taunt the Frog.
All right, get your GGs in for Tripp as he crosses the finish line at 142.16.
Yep. And GG's for Taunt the Frog. It looks like Scruff now dropping in on Ganon as WindFox is heading for his next dungeon.
See, I believe that is his last one.
Yes, it does.
Oh. And it looks like WindFox forfeited right there.
Yeah, it looks like he saw the result. Indigo mode, so not too worried about the finish up at this point. So understandable. Get your GGs in for WindFox. Although it does appear Scruff is going to go for the Ganon kill. He got this far, why not?
I mean, yeah, if you're a Ganon, you just typically would do that.
And really, smooth kill here with the silvers.
Mm-hmm.
So get your GGs in for MrScruffNinjaTuna. Just gonna have to cross the bridge as well.
That is all he has left there, is just crossing that bridge.
And Scruff finishing with a 143.46. GGs to all of our runners. We will see if we can get them in for an interview. And oh my gosh, the credits are going super quick on Scruff's side.
Yeah, because who wants to watch the credits, right?
Yeah, we don't need to see this. As we are joined by Homewrecker and Tripp, as well as Scruff and WindFox. GG's, everybody.
GG's, guys.
Woo!
GG's.
GG's. Oh man, those flips. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were going over the chain that seemed to kind of seal this one for Taunt the Frog. It looked like mirror to flips to cane / hookshot really kind of made the difference tonight.
Yeah.
I was like this close to getting that hook shot while I was in Maya the first time, but I was like,
Oh, no, that chest never pays off. There's never anything in my spike chest. No.
never, never.
Well, it was Wind found Kane right as Scruff was in there.
Yeah, Scruff
Yeah.
walked in, picked up the big chest, and Wind found Kane.
Yep.
Oh, no.
I
Oh,
immediately
gosh.
bonked right out of there. I'm like, I don't want to finish this dungeon without a cane.
Well, that was the thing. This seed was kind of a forced double dip of at least one of the dungeons. Either you had to double dip Mire and Swamp or some other combination. Like,
You
Right?
had to
kind of
double
rude.
dip. You had to double dip Mire, or you had to double dip Hera and Swamp.
Mm-hmm. Wait, where was the Hera big key?
Diver
Swamp.
down
In the
chest.
back of swamp, yeah.
That's awesome.
Fun fact, neither bow was needed in this seed.
Nope.
Yeah,
So
and
you
Scruff
could
was our
have-
only runner to play both.
So you could have avoided all 3 pendants and all of GT.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Wait, was there
This
anything in
would've been
GT basement?
No.
Nothing,
Nope.
man. Nothing.
Oh my
No.
gosh! Wow.
I'm not in the climb either. It was worthless.
We had a decent discussion about that climb and doing it, and I think we just decided it was a trap. We got lucky on that one.
We got to see 3 of the items, a map and a couple of compasses. I think you found Wind.
Yeah, and then had a few attempts at the hover, and just hovering was not happening tonight.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. You really gave it some nice attempts.
Hey, I can say I attempted to hover the TR gap, so...
Yeah, we were hoping for it. We were hoping for the endurance hover.
Yeah, I'm going to throw out a muscle in my arm hover.
I mean, I told Scruff, I was like, I could attempt this. I have everything to kill this boss. He was like, sure, go for it. I'm like, all right, YOLO.
Now, one of the things I do want to also ask about, Tripp earlier with Laser Bridge,
Oh, I don't want to talk about it.
What
I knew
sent
it
you
was going to
back, I
get brought
guess?
up, and I really don't want to talk about it.
My bigger question, I guess, is what sent you back?
Honestly, it was a gut call. I
Okay.
got out of there, and there was just something gnawing at me that there's got to be something more in there, and I went after it.
No, that is fair. We were definitely concerned because it's one of those things that happens in co-op. You're like, you tell your partner, "Hey, I found Laser Bridge," and Homewrecker's going to assume Tripp got all the items, and then it's when do you go back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was definitely aware that I.
Yeah, we were talking about it at the
fucked it up.
time.
But
I
yeah,
remember
that
because he's
was.
like, oh, I'm having trouble with these lasers, and I'm like, you found Rice Rod. That's probably all that's there, right?
Oh.
Scruff.
Almost bit us really hard, square in the butt. Holy cow!
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
honest, though, that's really the reason why I went to swamp as early as I did. Is I felt like I had to make an aggressive play with getting boots that late.
Ooh, that was a good play then.
Scruff said Ice Rod. I was like, all right, cool, come back to it later. And he's like, I found boots. I was like, save and quit, going to Turtle Rock.
Yep.
Now I got a quick question for you guys, since you two were watching the four of us here. I'm trying to figure out what was the logic into Dark World this seed.
Oh, it was you had the glove was in the back of tavern. The moon pearl was
At
there.
the dam. Yeah.
The dam, and then
Was it Mitz getting us into the Dark World? Because I don't remember any connector actually being worthwhile.
I mean, Hammer was pretty early.
Yeah,
well, yeah,
Hammer,
but that was out of logic.
but that was out of logic. Yeah.
Hammer,
Yeah, where was our lamp? I can't remember that now.
Lamp
Lamp-
was
Where
in
was
Turtle
Hammer again?
Rock.
So Hammer was on the Old Man, which is lamp locked. Lamp was in Turtle Rock, locked by the Moon
Laser
Pearl.
Bridge. Yep.
Oh wow!
Blocked with the Moon Pearl.
And
Oh, yeah, it's
also,
Laser Bridge, that's right. Okay.
yeah,
No,
Wait. We had access
Laser Bridge
to...
was. Wait, was Laser Bridge Light World or
No,
Dark
Laser Bridge was
World.
Dark
It's
World.
Dark World. It's Dark
Okay.
5.
We had...
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. We had
But
access to Desert mid, and that put us to Thieves Town, which gave us the mirror, which gave
Yeah.
us flippers, which gave us Titan's mitts.
which
Yeah.
would have given
Flippers
us
also give? Yeah, wow.
Okay, so there we go.
which would have given us access to East Dark World via flippers to get to Turtle Rock, to get the lamp, to get the hammer.
Yep.
Oh man. All right, so logic just does not matter at all in these seeds. That's what I'm
Nope.
getting at.
So it was logically Titan's mitts for Dark World access.
Oh,
Awesome.
entrance is great, isn't it?
Well, when's your next one?
That's a good question. When is our next one?
Yes.
You have one. That's it. That's the answer. There is one someday.
At some point, we talked about it a little bit briefly before the race, but I don't know. We'll have to figure something out.
I'm pretty sure it's the same four of us again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
definitely the same four of us. I don't know. We just have to make something work with us being in Tripp and I being in time zone different areas. It kind of makes during the week a little rough. So we'll see.
Before we start to try to close up shop tonight, any other comments from any of our runners?
This was a seed.
I'll be the salty Sally.
That
and
it
say-
was.
I'll be the salty Sally and say it was my fault. My team lost. I spent too much time doing other stuff instead of clearing dungeons.
If only you hovered that Trinex gap.
Would have made all the difference.
If only. Nah, you guys both did really good. It was just one thing. It was always just one thing happening, and then that was it. It's just one small thing happened, and just kind of without that mirror there, because it was WindFox went one direction, Tripp went the other, and that one direction went to Mirror versus Dark Death Mountain, and yeah, that's pretty much where it was.
Hey, it happens.
Oh, okay.
Well, hey, GG's, guys. We'll see you in chat for the next game.
Sounds good. GG.
Yeah, GG's.
Now, in terms of our the rest or tomorrow, you're seeing those flash up on screen. We are getting some invitational and open races tomorrow. You got Great Name Pending versus X-Zoning, Little Foxes versus OK Game, Turtle Rockers versus Triple Crown Fiesta, JKLOL versus Begone Pot, Midna's Malevolence versus Tipsy Tavern Toasters, and Kabuki Hundo Activist Department versus Acai. So, in terms of where or if those are going to be restreamed, we don't know at this point. Obviously, Speed Gaming Live is still finishing up tomorrow. So unlikely to get much on the SG side. If it does, likely check out SG7. Speed Gaming 7 might be the home for some of those invitational races tomorrow, but that is an unknown right now. And of course, keep your eyes here for the ALTTPR League for the potential for having another race restreamed here. Big shout outs to our trackers tonight, Kono Tyron and Yoinker's wife. Yoinker's also in charge of the restream. So thank you for helping us get this off the ground. And Tabby, it's been a pleasure. I'll let you close it out tonight.
All right. Well, I do thank everybody for coming out and watching us. And I think with Jesse coming in and calming with me, and our wonderful racers there, MrScruffNinjaTuna, WindFox470, Tripp, and Homewrecker did a fantastic job. We've got a 4-way tie for first place right now in Eastern Palace. So that next race is going to depend on who's going to be first this week, it looks like. But yeah, if we got more rando coming up, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your night, guys. Later.